What's up, Kyle? It's Thursday. But on Monday, April the 8th, 2024, I experienced one of the most beautiful sights and thought-provoking moments in my entire life. And it was nothing other than the great American solar eclipse. Look, man, I'm gonna try my best not to oversell it, but it's the truth. But luckily, I'm gonna come with the facts. In this video, I'm gonna hit you with 3 things that can really express what this solar eclipse was like. And I'm gonna start, of course, with the hype. Much like Patrick Starr, I live under a rock. I stay off of social media because I'm easily addicted to it, and I try to stay focused on everything I gotta do throughout the day, so I really don't know what's going on. And truthfully, I like it, because I feel like today we're so inundated with so much media, news, gossip, that there's almost too much to focus on. I'm always a few weeks behind when it comes to music, movie, news, and just the latest trends. If someone wants me to see a TikTok or an Instagram reel, they have to text it to me. But this eclipse was ubiquitous. Everybody was talking about it, and I mean everybody. People are making plans, people are asking you who you're gonna see it with. Go to any gas station, Walmart, Target, they're selling the glasses. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. The election cycle or Christmas doesn't even get this amount of attention. And it had me thinking, when have I ever experienced something that was so talked about? And then I remembered, and then I remembered, and then I remembered. And people talk about breaking the internet. This broke life. COVID is the perfect example to compare it to because the world literally stopped. But this time, it was for something great, something beautiful, and that is really rare. Our dean sent out a letter to everybody in the university saying that all students were to be dismissed an hour before the eclipse. One of my friends told me he was elbow deep in surgery, and then the attending said, "Hey, you guys gotta leave to see this eclipse." Honestly, the craziest thing is the fact that the parking office said that there will be no tickets issued and no enforcement during the afternoon of the eclipse because they want as much people to see it as possible. Now, when capitalism stops, you know something big is going on. And mind you, this is the same parking office that gave me an $80 ticket within 30 minutes of me parking because it was the last day of school. This was truly a global event. Well, I guess not really global because it was only part of the United States, but you get the idea. It was a unifying experience. As a Christian, I celebrated Easter a few Sundays ago, and today my Muslim friends are celebrating Eid.
The man them celebrate Eid, the trap still running on Christmas Day.
But regardless of what your worldview is, every human could witness this solar eclipse and take away some level of awe and inspiration from it. Religious people witness a display of God's creation of a beautiful universe, one that's also rational, that we can study and predict. Merely scientific people can appreciate the rare unlikelihood of the meeting of these two celestial bodies and the unlikelihood that they even exist at a time, space, and condition that they could witness it. And from a humanistic point of view, we can appreciate the fact that although for only 4 minutes, humanity acted in a way that we have never seen in all of recorded time, as one. I'll forget all that fake deep stuff, man. Let's talk about the real stuff, the experience.
What are you doing?
Watching the sun.
So I wish I would have went to the stadium or to one of the metro parks so I could witness it with more people and seen what that was really like. But I was really glad with what I had. A lot of my close friends and acquaintances all sharing this moment together at the school. And it's so rare for us to all have that time off, and especially to be able to coordinate to be in the same place at the same time. It was like someone just had a brand new baby in the family, or we were the animals in the Pride Lands witnessing Simba's unveiling. Everyone was just together for a moment, taking pictures, videos, laughing, and making memories. I definitely understand why the pagans.
Them boy pagan, I can't stand them. I don't trust you if you ain't man.
Side note, this whole time I thought UK rappers were saying pagan, but really they're saying pagan. I used to wonder why the animosity towards pagans in the UK grime scene. Is there just some kind of deep-seated religiosity that I'm not aware of? But anyways, those pagans might have been onto something. I can really appreciate the idea of going through a harsh Ohio winter and then being able to enjoy the sun's rays on your body for the first time and the first budding of plants and aroma of flowers with some of your best friends. Long story short, it was really a holiday. It really had me thinking, maybe this is how a type 2 civilization would have holidays. You know what type 2 civilizations are, like the ones where, they can harness all the energy of their planet and their sun and live in perfect harmony with nature. Don't plants already harness all of the energy from the sun? And didn't we already live in complete perfect harmony with nature back when we had, pre-agricultural habits? And even when we did have agriculture, like the Native Americans or the indigenous sub-Saharan Africans, didn't we live in complete harmony? But nowadays we talk about underdeveloped and developing nations. Like, what are we developing towards? Hey, that's a whole different video. We don't have time for that. The last aspect of the experience was something that I didn't get to experience. But my mom told me where she was, all the neighborhood dogs started barking and the birds were flying and chirping in the air, like something was really happening, and all the animals knew. That actually makes sense, because now I'm gonna break down the third part, the science.
-7 seconds.
So I was gonna go into this whole scientific deep dive and breakdown, but man, I don't got the time for that. So I'm just gonna give you some armchair science for you. The main thing I took away is the power of the sun.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Here's number one. During the eclipse, there was a 5 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit decrease in the temperature. It went from a sunny, warm day to a chilly afternoon and people putting their jackets on. The moon was giving us galactic shade. This is actually what it looks like from space. It really showed me how much radiation the sun actually provides to us in an instant. And next is the light. Look at this picture. Tell me, what percentage of totality do you think this is? You're wrong. The answer is 99% totality. This was the moment the sun began to peak on the other side of the moon, the diamond ring as they call it. But this little sliver of light produced that much brightness and warmth in that moment. That just showed me how much light the sun produces. And one of my friends said this, so I can't take credit, but she said that light always drives out darkness. Can I get an amen? Now, the last thing I want to say is a whole nother video on its own. But I want to title it Dangerous Absolutism. And it comes from the fact that people say not to look at the eclipse with your naked eye. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. I looked at that with my naked eye, and I do not regret it. I'll go as far as to say, at the risk of sounding crazy, that anyone who did not observe totality with their naked eye did themselves a grave disservice. So here's my thing. I understand that the sun is very powerful. I just told you how powerful it was. But the issue is you can glance at it for a second and not have your retinas destroyed forever.
Stupidest thing you've ever done.
Stupidest thing I ever done. I looked at the sun with my own eyes. An hour later, my eyes are blurry and they're hurting.
But the weird thing is that people harp on it to an extent that almost makes it unbelievable or almost makes you want to do it. I've stared at the sun many times in my life. I've stared at this sun. I've even stared at this sun for, 10, 15 seconds because it was just such a beautiful thing I couldn't keep my eyes off of. But I'm rambling here. This is what I want to say. Hi, I'm Editing Win, here to say that Recording Win continued to ramble. What I'm trying to say is that if you have unprotected sex, you're going to get syphilis, get pregnant, and die. So here's his concise idea. Cautionary absolutism is dangerous because it sows seeds of distrust. Truth is the most beneficial medicine. So here's the example. It is easy and comforting to say, never drink alcohol, never have unsafe sex, and never stare at the sun. However, Once people start doing those things and they don't have the negative outcomes that you swear they would have, they will start to question your authority and your honesty. We know that the truth actually lies in the fact that although those are all terrible things to do and unhealthy things to do, there is a small window or a marginal window where you can do those risky behaviors safely. And I have to say this now because I didn't have the chance to really articulate it. The way you see a rainbow or the moon and you take a nice picture of it and it looks nothing compared to your HD eyes, no photograph will ever do the beauty and awe of a complete and total solar eclipse justice. When I saw that with my eyes, you're going to say I'm gassing it. They're going to say I'm gassing it, but I'm not gassing it. They're going to say I'm glazing, but I'm not glazing. I'm gazing. Gazer, gazer, gazer. I'm stargazing, bro. Look, let me just tell you this. Objectively, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen with my eyes, period. The only thing that could come close is me saying when I saw my firstborn daughter. But that's different because it has the connotation of the story of the, oh, this is my child, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just talking straight vision. The best thing you could see, complete solar eclipse. That's it. It's the best. I hope that one day you too can experience a total solar eclipse. And I forgot to actually mention, this was my second one in my lifetime. Here's a picture of my first one. This was August the 21st, 2017. And it was my birthday. All right, man, I'll see you on Saturday.
Have you seen anything yet?
Many things.
Like what?
See for yourself. Welcome to the present.